Welcome to another episode, everyone. Jonathan Dupiton, the scammer. He scammed many people. He went to prison. He got out of prison, started a successful podcast. And then he went back to prison. In fact, before this interview even dropped, he was arrested again and back in jail. But check out this interview as he details one of his arrests and why he went to prison to begin with. This individual was rich, getting a lot of money from scamming. I don't know if these individuals are glorifying this or not. They were accused of this, but they say that they're just trying to detail how you can change your life, how you can go to prison and then get out and change your life. Not sure how much Jonathan here changed his life because, again, he's back locked up.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But that drew the red flag. They watched the store, and I remember getting a letter in the mail, like something about my store, something from the USDA, but I just brushed it off. But that was a sign right there, like they coming for your ass. Yeah.
And that's him. That's Jonathan Dupiton right there, the individual talking right there.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I just threw it away. Man, 3 months later, these folks kicked in my fucking door, bro. And I was still confused because I was like, how?
For what? Yeah. For what?
The way they pulling up, guns out, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They look like fucking army. I'm like, but my homies was at the crib too, and they be walking around with guns and shooting up shit, and I'm like, they gotta be for them.
Yeah, it's for them. Yeah.
Can't be for me, you know what I'm saying? I'm just a low, you know what I'm saying? Low. I live under the radar, you know what I mean? They shouldn't be here for Jonathan.
Right.
So everybody come downstairs, I'm the last person. They're like, up there you go right there. I said, oh, fuck, man. What the fuck did I do?
Yeah.
And I'm still like clueless to the food stamp. So he pulled me to the balcony. He's like, you know what I'm here for? I'm like, no, I don't know. He's like, yeah, I'm USDA. I was like, damn, USDA food stamp. I said, what? He's like, yeah. So you got a store, right? Oh, fuck.
Yeah. It's clicking.
Fuck. So they take me upstairs to get the question to me. I'm like, hey, I need a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Y'all asked too many questions. I've never been here before. You know, we ain't talking. And they basically came for like aggravated identity theft, wire fraud, mail fraud, food stamp fraud, conspiracy. They were looking for $300K in cash. I was like, damn, I'm fucked.
Co-defendants, all you? Like, is your man good?
Co-defendant was my sister, because she put the store in her name.
Got you.
But they didn't do enough research.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they could have took down the whole empire. You know what I mean? But luckily for me, you know what I mean? And then when I say the store got burnt, that was a blessing because if both of the stores are open, both of them.
Now, people are going to get enough running their mouths on these podcasts because, again, this individual was arrested right after this interview. Many people are speculating it's because they said these individuals here, these two individuals here who are interviewing Jonathan, they said that they were asking Fed questions. And Jonathan was answering them. But I don't know because the interview had not even aired yet and they had arrested him. I believe that's how it happened. Either way, he's been arrested again. But many people are speculating it's because some of the things that he said here in this interview, and they just asked him, who else? Did they get your mans and them too or just you? Oh, no, my sister. But they ain't had nothing on my sister because they ain't do no research. They ain't do enough research. So they ain't really had nothing on my sister. Okay. I don't know. Maybe the case is old that he's referring to, I suppose, but I'm not sure why they came and got him again, but he went back down. But he's talking a lot here.
Would have been generating money. And I got locked up for 800. Should I have been locked up for 1.6? You know what I mean? So I bet, well, maybe it was God. You know what I mean? So
and off top, you know, they automatically trying to give you more than the 3 that you serve. How much time were they really trying to give you?
At first it was like 7. Okay. It was like 7 years. And I was like, damn, that's too much time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't deserve 7 years. But like, and I got a lawyer. Like, usually with the feds, you really don't need no lawyer because they go off guidelines and shit. So like, whatever your crime is and whatever the fuck, how much money you took, they gonna.
That's what
you know what I'm saying. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying. You base off from 50 to 60 months. We're gonna give you in between that. And sometimes they go over. Sometimes they go under. So I got a lawyer. He was like, look, man, I'm gonna try to fight it, but bro, ain't too much I can do for it. I gave you 30,000, nigga. What you mean you can't?
Right.
You know what I mean? But my sister, she wasn't looking at those times. They were trying to give her probation, and I told the nigga, hey, I need as much time as possible, bro. Try to fight this shit and drag this shit as long as possible, 'cause I still was getting money. Try to drag this shit out long as possible, and I was out for like 17 months. And I fucked around and got locked up because I was failing drug tests. it was a lot amount of stress dealing with,
Yeah,
like
I bet,
pre-trial,
yeah.
and I'm ready to go to prison, and like, bro, it was a lot. And I was like, bro, just take me to fucking jail. Man.
How old are you around this time?
Shit, I'm 27. I got locked up at 26. Yeah,
Okay,
26,
okay.
going into 27. I was highly stressed, bro. Like, I was highly stressed, man. Like, I was ready to go do my time, bro. Like, just lock me the fuck up. And,
It's old for me. Let me just go ahead and pack it in.
Yeah, let's just go do this shit, man. Boy,
I really want to.
Yeah, highly stressed, but back in there, continued to go back, and again, it's in there as we speak now. After this interview, this is why I want you to pay attention to the interview. He continuously mentions God as if he's changed, as if he's a changed man. I'm not here to judge him. Lord knows I went back and forth to jail and prison for a very long time, back and forth, back and forth. But I wasn't claiming to be super religious and all of that either at the same time. I was in the street, and that's just what it was. But just don't be a hypocrite about it. It is what it is. You are who you are. If you're still in the street, then you're still in the street. That's okay. Just admit it. He's saying all this stuff, and he's back in there.
I mean, unless Ash about to say something, I really want to dive into it because you said something earlier. You was like, yo, when I did get locked up, I was like, thank you, God. Because I know I'm about to learn something. I know I'm about to evolve. You know what I mean? Like, why you got that type of mindset? You know what I mean?
One, I started getting into like the law of attraction. I started getting into The Secret, and I started learning about manifestation and shit. And just like the man that just left here, like, you can go in here, you could lollygag and bullshit, and this could be a playground, or you can come here and this really can be like school.
Yeah.
And an OG of mine told me the same thing before. Like, you can go in there and, bro, you can come out a whole nother person. I'm like, I got 3 years and some change. All right, what I'm gonna do with this time? Off the rip, nigga, I just started reading books. I started working out, nigga. That was just like the base level. You know what I'm saying? Let me get my mind right. Let me get my body right. And then I started like educating myself on the legal shit and legal shit. I'm talking to every nigga that I knew that was doing some shit, like scamming or selling drugs, like not to learn like what they were doing, but like learn from their mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck you was doing, how you get caught. You know what I'm saying? Like, and none of it, like, I wasn't even trying to like make sense of this shit. I was just building up a fucking library of information. And like, when I got
and I had that same mindset at one point when I was doing a lot of different robberies, and then I would get with people in prison and ask the same thing, individuals that I know who were in there for a robbery case, and find out, well, how did you get caught? So as to sharpen my skills so that I wouldn't get caught anymore. So if this is your mindset, he says that he's asking these individuals questions as to find out what mistakes they made, why they got caught, why they're in prison. So you want to continue on with this enterprise. You want to sharpen your skills. You want to hone your skills. You want to learn how to commit these offenses and still stay free, apparently. I mean, because he didn't say that he was talking to them to tell them to change their ways, to tell them this is not the way to go. He said he's talking to them to find out what mistakes they made. Well, the same mistakes that you continuously made, because, again, he went back to prison. He's back in jail now. Sooner or later, we're going to have to figure it out and realize that our freedom is priceless. Priceless.
got out, like, I started putting all this information to use, not even knowing like it would mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even describe like the little shit I was learning. Like, I was walking the yard with this white man one time, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna teach you how to get rich. Man, we walked the yard with this man for the whole week and a half. I'm like, all he was telling us was, goddamn, yeah, you gotta start your LLC, you gotta get the website, you gotta get the artist organization, and I'm like, nigga, I want to get rich. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? What are we talking about here, bro? You talking about getting trademarks? And I'm like, bro, I want to get rich, man. But what he was trying to explain to me, like, bro, you need the foundation first. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the foundation before you can get you $1 million company. You need the foundation right. And that didn't click till I got out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started this fucking brand, and that's when it started clicking. Like, all right, let me do what the fucking white man said. But I did this shit in the legal way. But I wouldn't even think about doing this shit in the legal terms. Like, I got a brand, I got a clothing line, I got a podcast. Let me do that the right way. I wasn't even thinking that at first. Like, I was just doing it how I do legal shit, illegal shit, just doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'll figure the shit out later. But while I was in there, I really took the time to like recreate myself.
So you really needed that time.
I needed that. I was a boy before I went in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I came out a man.
What year you came home?
I came home 2019. Got out the halfway house 2020. My mom passed away 3 months before I got out.
Oh wow!
You know what I'm saying? Like she died in August. I got out in October. You know what I mean? Like, so like now I'm like, you could tell I'm a nigga. Like I was always a hustler, go getter. People love me, but like when I got out, bro, I was just cold. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't even explain that shit. Like damn, I just lost my mom. Like I'm finna use all that energy to just fucking drive into something.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because I could drive this shit and fuck a bunch of hoes. I could go back into doing some legal shit. I just know I had some fire in me that I needed to put towards something.
Yeah.
Well, prior to because and we'll talk about who you are and your podcast and things of that nature. But
rest in peace to his mother, and you have to do better. And rest in peace to my mother too, and everyone else who's lost their mother out there that are watching. I know the pain, And he said that he was cold-hearted when he got out because he had lost his mother. He just couldn't relate to people and all that. But, you want to do your mother proud, man. You don't want to continue to make these same mistakes. Again, I'm not preaching this and not judging this individual because I've made so many mistakes myself in my life. But at some point, I'm just saying, again, he mentions God a lot. He was in prison. He got out and had a podcast. Watch, he had a podcast. It was doing good. He was successful. But the lure of the streets, the lure of the money, whatever you were doing where you were successful, at least part of the time you were successful and you were getting a lot of money from it, as he was, I think millions, it's hard, for some individuals to say, I'm good on that lifestyle. You think you can go back, you done sharpened your skills, you learn where other people made their mistakes at, you done studied your craft for years, you think you can dip in let me just go one more time and get a couple million, then I'm out of the game. Let me, get started over here with this money the legal way, but let me get over here and get this money first, one time. You want to give it one more shot? Yeah, no. It only takes one shot to end you, take you out. No.
prior to that, were you good with ladies, or like what was your what was your personality, or did you have a girlfriend? Did you have multiple women? How was your game prior to being?
I think back then, before prison, I think it was a little regular, like how any regular nigga would be. Like, had a girlfriend a couple years, and then had a couple girls, but it wasn't like how it is now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where the fuck it came from. Yeah. Even while I was locked up, I was talking to like multiple chicks, but I would tell them like, hey, listen, I don't want you to think that when I get out, we finna be in a relationship. Like, because I already know where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? In my head, like, I don't want to make a decision while I'm at my lowest and then regret it later. Right. You know what I'm saying? We be fucked up like, this is gonna be the girlfriend. But like, if you was rich, you wouldn't do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was thinking that mentality, like, I'm rich. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be famous when I get out this motherfucker. I don't wanna make no type of commitment. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God, I'd say I'm gonna be famous.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You know, he already said he was a smooth criminal.
Nah, 1,000%.
You know what I mean?
So talk to us like, so one of the things I loved about what I love about your podcast and your brand and everything like that, you do everything at a high level. Right? And what I mean by that is I'm talking about your launch, like you had props and everybody who started a podcast that I know that's successful, they like started small. You know what I'm saying? So you think about Earn Your Leisure, they had the iPhones, or when I first started, you know what I'm saying? Like I had a webcam, like there was like this progression of like, all right, I'm gonna start small, and then eventually I'm gonna justify it, build up to this big elaborate thing that I'm doing. Out the gate, my man had the ATM machines and you had a whole set, and it looked like a lot of money was put into it. You know what I'm saying? And I admired that, because I'm like, this dude is just starting out, but he's starting out like you said, and it makes sense now that you said in your head, I'm gonna be rich and famous, and so I'm gonna, law of attraction, secret, I'm going to be that right now. Talk a little bit about Where did you get the idea to start podcasting and doing that? And what made you do it at such a high level?
Well, first, I never even thought about podcasting. All the ideas that I had came from sitting in prison. You know what I mean? So like, here I am trying to figure out like how can I come out and like rebrand myself. I didn't have a brand. Well, before prison, I was a photographer.
Okay.
I didn't mention that. Like I was a photographer dealing with ladies, but I wasn't like the smooth nigga I am now. But I just I knew that I knew how to work the camera. I know how to make niggas look good. All right, let me turn this motherfucker around and make myself look good. So I would sit on the bunk bed, I'll smoke me a little blunt, lay down, and I'll just let my mind wander. You know what I'm saying? Like a kid would just have it with imagination. I'll just let it just, you know what I'm saying, just run. You know what I mean? And then it was little pieces that I would like grab, like, okay, boom, like this is what I want to look like. Okay, this is what I want to have. It wasn't the podcast. It was like, I'm gonna start this Finesses Only shit. But the Finesses Only came from just my case. Like I don't want to be known as this fraud nigga. 'Cause I ain't no scammer. I just hit a lick. You know what I mean? And I wanted to make people understand like it's a
I don't know about all that, buddy.
Because if a nigga gave me a brick, I'll sell a brick. You know what I mean? But not right now, but back then, you know what I mean? Like I'll do whatever to, you know what I'm saying?
He's saying you for sure a scammer, for sure a skizammer. Then slam dunked you again. Man down. You in a jail cell. Tripping. Back and forth. Sounds intelligent, articulate. Sounds like he learned his lesson. That, he got out again, had the successful podcast. He's speaking now on why he started the podcast, and as the individual said, he hit the gates running. Well, he had the money. He got bread. He had the money to get all this fancy stuff from the very first episode, from the beginning, the whole background, the whole setup, like he said. He hit the ground running immediately and started blowing up. He ain't start off with a little iPhone sitting in the park or something. He started off with a whole studio, the whole get out. He already had bread. He was good. I don't know, man. Could have been on his way to big success, really being famous for the right reasons, having a successful podcast with millions of subscribers, millions of views, perhaps teaching the public, teaching brothers certain things about this scamming stuff and why they should stay away from it. I don't know. Apparently, he took a different route.
Give me some funds. And I got this brand in my head, all right, Finesses Only Club, like what is it? You know what I'm saying? What is it gonna be? Who are the people I'm gonna talk to? And I knew that like, okay, I did this little height wall. That height wall came for me to sit in prison, like how can I take my story and bring it to life? The little height wall that you'll see people taking in jail, boom, ATM, because I be at the ATMs, you know what I'm saying? Like niggas that scamming, they resonate with that. Niggas that's getting money, they resonate with ATM. So it was just little things in my mind that I was just, and it was just for me to create a place to sell merch, honestly. I was just gonna have a motherfuckers to walk in this bitch, be able to buy merch and just have an experience come in to buy my merch. Like, damn, bro, I had an ATM in that motherfucker. They could take pictures in this shit and they could leave. All right, that was it.
Yeah.
And I had all the cameras already. You know what I mean? I had the cameras. I was living in the same loft I do my podcast in. I was slowly transitioning. It took me like a year and a half to fully make my living space a podcast. But I put the little wall up. I had the ATM in there. And I was like, all right, let me just fucking move all my shit out and just do the shit. All right, a nigga came over, did a podcast for him. Like, he like, I want to interview you and we're going to talk about semen retention and shit like that. And when I seen myself on camera, I was like, nigga, this shit. Nigga, I belong on this camera, dog.
Yeah.
And I still was bullshitting though. Like, I was like, I'm gonna do the podcast, I'm gonna do it. And never did it. And then David Shands, I don't know how I ended up following David Shands, don't know how I linked, I don't know, but he was doing the podcast challenge. And I did the challenge for 5 days. I learned a lot, but it wasn't enough for me to get started. And he was like, yeah, I got this, I got another offer for you guys. It's $25,000. I was like, $25,000? Nigga, I paid $200 to be in this class. You think I'm gonna pay $25,000? But I just bought a Rolex for like $40.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I would buy a Rolex for $40, but wouldn't invest in myself. Like I was just really like trying to psych myself out. Like, bro.
But wait, hold on. How'd you get the 40? Like you started getting money again? Like how you?
Oh no, I came out with money.
Okay.
Yeah, I had money. I had money buried. You know what I'm saying? I came out.
Yeah,
money buried.
Nipsey Hussle.
Got you. Heard you.
Yeah.
Heard you.
Yeah. So
okay, heard you. I ain't even gonna ask.
Yeah. And we have the benefit of hindsight as we watch this. Knowing the outcome already, what happened, that he's been arrested, as I already said multiple times. And this individual is asking some suspicious questions, man. How did you get to 40,000 to buy the Rolex? Were you back in the street? No. What are you talking about? First of all, I wouldn't even say I spent 40,000 on a Rolex. If you had money buried and they never got you the money, the feds or whatever, you got away with it. Instead, he says that he bought the Rolex for 40. He's telling this story about why he started podcasting and how he got started and all this. I guess this just comes up as part of the story, but no, you got to be careful. Now you didn't admit it that you spent 40,000 on a Rolex, and then before it's over, in the same breath, you admit that you had the money buried somewhere. That no. I don't know why he ended up getting arrested after this podcast, but and then, like I say, this dude asked him, "What kind of question is that?" Oh, hold on, I mean, he stopped it. He stopped the whole interview. Hold on. How'd you get to 40,000? Were you back in the street? What the hell? Who are you? Who sent you?
Heard you. Yeah.
What?
No. So no, I'm saying you came out with money because you had money buried. So I was saying that whatever the feds thought you did, the amount that they thought you did wasn't the amount. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to say that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, they can only prove
you
like
just
what my
said.
stores did.
Right.
You know what I mean, outside of that shit, you just got to just guess or something. Nigga.
Right.
So even with the money, all the money that I made accumulated, I was saving money over time.
Yeah.
And I just, before I went in, I put it in the ground. You know what I'm saying? I thought about that money every day. Every day I thought about it. I was doing experiments in that motherfucker. Like, all right, if I take the bottle and I squeeze it, all right, there's no pressure coming out, so it shouldn't be no pressure going in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like I was But it was there when I got out. You know what I mean? But I was using the money to invest everything.
And so now when you got out, you have some bread, which is how you got your loft. This is how you're buying the equipment.
I was also doing Airbnb too. I forgot to mention that. I had like 6 Airbnbs in a halfway house. You know what I'm saying? So I'm generating some type
My
of money.
man's had a plan. So I'm here as I'm hearing you talk. The biggest piece I'm hearing is I had a plan. Before I came home, I had a plan. I put together a plan before I came home, and now it's just time to execute and rock out. That's dope.
I was telling a lot of niggas I was locked up. I was talking to my mans in the state while I was in the feds, like, hey, bro, when you get out, bro, you need to have some type of direction, bro, because you're going to get out and you're going to be lost. You know what I'm saying? Because I understood this. And he never listened. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of niggas like that. You'll be in that bitch just wasting time, getting high, and then when the time, because you think that time never coming. And then they're like, oh, well, you got a month left. Like, oh, damn, what the fuck I'm gonna do? Niggas get to reading and start working out they last 2-3 months. No, nigga, like, once you get out, you're gonna leave that shit alone in, because it didn't mean shit. You know what I mean? Like, I did this shit for 2 years straight, worked out and bust my ass for 2 years straight. So I had a plan though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, all right, when I get out, I don't know how I'm gonna be famous, but I'm gonna be famous. And I need to get rich. You know what I'm saying? Richer.
So Shan's hit you with the 25K tag.
Shan hit me with
offer.
offer. And I was like, I contemplated like a long time, like, bro, I can't do this, bro. 25,000. But I was like, what else I'm gonna do with the bread? I'm buying me another fucking watch. You know what I'm saying? Spending on a Chanel bag or some shit. Like, I was gonna do some dumb shit with the money. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And I pulled up cash. Everybody pulled up with like cars and deposits. Man, nigga said, bro, he was the only person that pulled up with some cash. Bro, we had to like double count it and make sure it was real and like, is this drug money? All type of shit, man. But I was serious about learning this shit though. And the thing is, when I took the nigga class, bro, I showed up one time. All I needed was confidence from this man, bro. I seen the nigga sit down and do what we doing right now. I was like, that's it? That's it? He ain't had no pen, no pad, no nothing, bro. He just sat down and started talking. I was like, bro, it's not that fucking hard.
It's really
bro.
not,
I'm about to go do the shit. And I did it next week. I just started doing that shit. And I just, at first I was contemplating, like, damn, the loft not ready. Damn, the light, I ain't got the right lights yet. I was like, man, fuck this shit.
And what year did you launch it? What year we in?
21? November 21,
I remember when I first started seeing your podcast, I think I was talking to, forgot who I was talking to. I was like, yo, I know who I was talking to. Shout out to my man Sean again. But anyway, I was looking at it, I was like, damn, where he came from. That's the first thing I said. The first thing I said was, wait, where he came from. I was like, all right.
Nah, it definitely blew up like overnight.
It was like this, pah. You know what I mean? I was like, where he came from. And then I'm paying attention to it. Then I'm seeing how you go from certain conversations. Then I'm seeing the chicks. And then I'm like, Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He one of the ones.
And I remember though, funny enough though, I remember you teaching me some game actually. So fast forward, I think you had started already. Shan's had a mastermind, a podcast mastermind.
This guy right here, this dude Jonathan is his idol. And he asked him earlier. And so, what about the women? How many women did you have? What was that like? Was you a player? Was you in the game? What the hell? What's that got to do with anything? He wants to know. He married, though, this individual here, but still, he wants to know, he wants to live vicariously through him. What? How many women did you knock down? Oh, yeah. What the hell?
He took us to Olive Garden.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
Salute to Shan. We at Olive Garden on the mastermind, right? And so we're talking, and you were kind of like breaking down the science of like doing the different shows. Like you had you had the late nights, you had the one with the brothers, you had the one with the women. So you had the different shows. And when I saw the one with the women, was the joint that I just started seeing go crazy. And so talk a little bit about that. Like what was the breakthrough for you, and then how did you start monetizing your podcast?
The breakthrough was they put me on house arrest. I was on house arrest for like the whole summer, man. Like I had a condo in Miami. They fucked around and put me on house arrest because I lied about having a job, submitting fake paycheck stubs. And I really thought it was over. I'm like, God damn. Like,
and so once you got released, you was on parole or probation?
Yeah, I was on probation.
Probation, gotcha.
Yeah. Supervised release, that's what they call it. Probation. Put me on house arrest from like May to end of August, September, something like that. And the podcast was doing okay then. I wasn't making no bread. But I'm like 6 months in, and people were telling me like, bro, you got something good going on. But I wasn't taking it serious for it. Like sometimes I'll podcast, sometimes I might not, you know what I mean? Like, but I ain't even had a show with the girls. It was just me and interviewing entrepreneurs. Once they put me on house arrest, I switched my address to the loft, and I was like, I'm just gonna be in my lab the whole fucking summer. And I just started creating. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk to girls too though. You know what I mean? So I invited my sisters over, like the homegirls. Hey, I want y'all to sit down on this couch. We were just gonna talk. We're gonna talk about, I don't know. And I recorded it just to see how I look on camera, see how the conversation went. And I'm like, I don't want a group of women, I want one. And then, but I did create another show where it was a group of women. So this is just me experimenting and then seeing what stick. I threw it out there, motherfuckers liked it. I bet we're gonna keep running it back. And it just kept growing and growing and growing. And then, but all the shows was just doing numbers at this point, and I still didn't make no goddamn money. I think my first dollar was YouTube paying me $100. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bet. These niggas paid me $100. I know I can run this shit up. You know what I mean? The next month, it was like, it went from like 100 to 17,000 in like a 2 month span. And I was like, I bet I got it. You know what I'm saying? Then I got a nigga to pay me $2,500 to come on the show. I was like, I'll bet this shit is sweet. You know what I mean? Like,
you do it.
I ain't gotta go back. You know what I mean? That's when shit started making sense. Like, I bet I got something for real. You know what I mean? Like, it took for me to be sitting, because at first I was mad as hell I was on house arrest, but I'm a nigga that gonna take the negative and turn it into a positive. Like, you know what? Something good got come from this shit. Like, there's no reason that God, I got a condo in fucking Miami. I'm living, you know what I mean? Like, why would he sit me down? And it only made sense. You know what I'm saying? My podcast went from like 60,000 to 400,000 in like 4 months.
I think, like, when you talk about, because you mentioned God a lot. No. But you do though, bro. Like, but what do you think like one of the biggest lessons is that God was trying to teach you with your time locked up that you clearly are utilizing now? I mean, before you answer that too, I think when you kind of told your story about, being you like, yo, I was like, how was life for you? Like, man, we was fucked up. From going through all that, I think you had a lot of resilience and looking at life with the right type of perspective. Going to prison, how do you think that enhanced? And then how are you using that ability that God set you down to continue doing what you're doing when you got released?
One thing about prison, man, it helped me find myself. Like, I really had to sit down by myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a point I sat in the hole for like 30 days too. And you and yourself, bro, and you get to thinking of like the mistakes you made and like what you want to become and like what it's gonna take to get there. that really what it did for me. Like it helped me find myself for real. And then the biggest lesson was like a lot of lessons, but like trusting people, appreciating what you have. You know what I mean? Like, cause I didn't give a fuck about like shit. Like I don't know, like things didn't really care. I mean, I didn't care about like the littlest things. Like right now, like family. You know what I'm saying? Like I really appreciate the time that I have with my family, my sister, my brothers, and like being taken away from that. You know what I mean? And then like also losing my mom in prison. Like what the fuck did that mean? Right. You know what I mean? I'm trying to put the pieces together. Like why would she die 3 months before I got out of prison? Like what the fuck? You know what I mean?
He says he's thinking about that, and that sort of stuff was on his mind, his family, and that he has to stay out of prison, and that he was thinking while he was in there, he was isolated in a hole for some time. For some time, he wanted to change his ways or what have you. But again, we're watching all of this knowing already the outcome. I don't get it. Apparently, he was successful. The podcast was successful. He paid $25,000 in cash money to learn how to podcast, to learn how to just sit down and talk like this. Damn all that. I ain't giving you nothing. It's simple. Sit down and start talking. What the hell? But he had $25,000 that he paid for this. So he invested in himself. He invested in the podcast. He invested in the studio itself. All of this stuff. Who knows how much he paid for all of this stuff. And he was on his way. He was being successful, right? He said he went from 60,000 subscribers to 400,000 within a matter of months. 4 months. And again, we say all this and we listen to all this knowing that somehow he got himself locked up again. I don't know why. I don't know if he was scamming again or what, but he seems, again, calm, peaceful even. The way he's speaking, his demeanor, and just detailing his success story. But obviously his story is still being written. I don't, I'm sure he's not in there for murder or nothing. Probably some of the more of the same, facing a couple years of violations, some probation violation, parole violation, some type of scam or something more than like, I don't know, it's just conjecture on my part. Perhaps I should have tried to see before I even played this, but whatever the case, I know he's locked up, or he was, before this interview had even really aired. This is all just breaking a couple of days ago. But after all of this and saying all of this, how much of it did he really mean? Because, again, we know the outcome.
And I don't know, like maybe that was a blessing within itself too. Because if I didn't have that fire within me, like, because that fire can go away. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I probably got that fire back now, but like I lost that shit, and I was trying to figure out like why I can't tap into that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like life that has to happen. You know what I'm saying? And it needs to spark something. Like, all right, bet, like maybe a near-death experience, a breakup, anything. Where that fire just lit up and you can just go for a certain amount of time before it die out. But God he just woke me up, bro. Yeah. He woke me up, you know what I'm saying? Because I really realized I was special. You know
I be saying, like, I said it on a couple episodes, like, there's a lot of people that we've interviewed that has done a lot of time. Some people don't need a decade. You know what I'm saying? You don't need 20 years, 12 years to figure out, all right, it's a bigger purpose for me, yo. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like your time served, the time I did serve, like, all right, this is it for me. I was telling Ash earlier, I knew when the first 2 hours back here, like, hey, this is not for me.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? I don't need all that time to figure out it's a bigger purpose. I'm gonna be this dude when I get home, and I got a plan.
I couldn't even tell you went to prison though, bro.
You couldn't tell?
Couldn't tell.
I don't be saying it.
I could tell you got street in you. For sure. You know what I'm saying? Some street in you for sure.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because I think that's why we want to do the show, right? Because
not that some people do need a long time in prison, but we see what happens when you skate through sometimes, when you don't get a long time. If you go in there, if they just slap you on the wrist, oftentimes, sometimes these individuals do not learn their lesson. They go to some little Disneyland type prison, and they're only there for 3 or 4 months. and they're able to come home, some people will still learn a lesson because it's just the loss of your freedom that's important. No matter where you're at, you still lost your freedom. And no matter for how long, 3 or 4 months, 3 or 4 weeks, 3 or 4 years. But there are going to be some individuals who know it's not going to register with them that their life is in dire straits and that they're jeopardizing their life when they do certain things, because every time they've been caught for certain things, they get a slap on the wrist. You go to a real prison, a maximum security prison, and you're there for 25 years, you're going to learn a lot of lessons. You're going to be happy to escape with your life, and you're going to get out and say, I'm not going back for the most part.
I believe that, we all, are a product. If you're from the streets, right? You're a product of the streets, right? I'm a product of the streets. Some of us went to prison, some of us didn't go to prison, but at the same time, I think that we all, we're made in different shapes and sizes. You know what I'm saying? So we're all similar. But when you think about us who are successful, there is this fire. There's something in us that makes us go. And if we use that in the right way, right? If we use it in a way that's going to help us, you know what I'm saying? And to be honest, I believe that it's the same. It's the same thing, right? It's the same, maneuvering that made you successful, with your stores. The same, thing that made him that makes him successful, with government contracting. It's like it's the same thing in the streets that you use to be successful. And so, man, like now, you got this podcast, you're making money. You got popularity, right? Because you're finding out, you're doing shows with these women. A lot of them have millions of followers. Talk a little bit about that. Like when did it transition from just my homegirls to like Instagram models and you know what I'm saying? Like, people who I guess Instagram.
Yeah. Niggas didn't want to see my homegirls no more. They wanted to see, like, I picked up that men wanted to see me interact with shit that they can't, that they would love to be around, but they can't. Yeah. So seeing me interact with them, basically they living vicariously through me. You know what I mean? So, all right, let me try to get the baddest, the most popular, whoever I can on this couch, you know what I'm saying, and work my move on them. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing a woman break down, I don't know what it is. Like seeing a woman just fold under pressure, niggas love it. So if I can get the
dude right there is living vicariously through him. That individual right there that's interviewing him. Instead, he wants to know about these women. See? He talking about it was for men who couldn't actually live that lifestyle. I guess get those kind of women. What men are that? Any man can get any kind of woman. Fellas, know that. Believe that. Just approach with confidence. Be strong, stern, upright. Speak with your chest. And understand that if she turns you down, that is her loss.
The most whatever, you know what I'm saying? The bitch with the most followers, whatever like that. If I can get her and I can not crack, but like get her to crack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get her to crack under pressure, like people love it. You know
and that, for me, that was the fun part. Was every time you had a different, woman on there, the fun part was to see like, let me see if he got her. If he could get this joint. And every time, and like maybe if you're a dude that don't get chicks, you don't know.
I told you, I got this guy.
You know what I'm saying? But like that's what I'm saying. You live vicariously.
I got your number, Ash.
I said,
whatever the hell your name is. I got you.
He got her. She's like, no, I ain't never gonna do this. You be like, oh, he got her. You know what I'm saying?
Is those? Yep. You got the holes in his jeans too. Yep. All bad. I knew it. I think. Yeah. And you talking about, that's the part that I like. That's the part that got me, when you had the bad women on there, you had to be, I always say, let me see how if he gonna get them. Told you, man. He's trying to live, boy. He's married, though. But he's having dreams about multiple beautiful women. Bro, just go home to your wife, because trust me, having multiple beautiful women, that dream quickly turns into a nightmare.
And so now you like was it difficult getting them on? Was it a DM? Was it
At first, I think the first celebrity that I got was Tommy from Love and Hip Hop, and before that, it was just Instagram girls. But like I knew once I got Tommy, I can get everybody else. I paid her like $2,500, $3,000, something like that, and it turned out really good. I'm like, all right, now I'm gonna use this same little clips to get these other chicks to come on. You know what I'm saying? I'll pin that shit right on the page, and every time somebody come on the page, they see Tommy. Ooh. Tommy was like that with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But girls will come on that motherfucker just so I can do that to him.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like they were expecting
And
that.
can you explain though? Because I think you and I know what it is.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
But
I
like
watched
for those who don't know, like what is that experience like? What is it? What are we talking about? Do that to like girls want you to do that to them too. Like, what is that though?
They want to be seduced. You know what I mean? Like they want to be seduced. They want to be talked to nice. They want to be flirted with, and they want.
All right. Jonathan Dupiton right there. Scamming, praying, and paid. The unfiltered truth behind Jonathan Dupiton. The podcast here is called Crime Pays. They said they named it that because they want to show how, you can go down for crime, go to jail, whatever, come back and be successful, not in crime, but just in life. And so crime pays. I don't know. Shout out to them. This guy here, as I said, I don't know. Go check it out. See what he's locked up for. He was locked up. I don't know if he's back out now, but he was arrested again. He's intelligent, apparently, and again, I'm not going to judge him because I don't know why he's locked up. I don't even know what happened with that situation. He could be innocent, like for real. They could just be messing with him. Anything could be going on. I don't know the situation. I do know that he was locked back up. And that many individuals were saying, oh, well, that's what he gets. Some individuals were saying that they looked up to him until this interview right here. And they said that he had really exposed himself, that he was exposing too much anyway, period, about his past indiscretions, but that he exposed himself, that he was not necessarily a changed man and someone inclined to help the youth and to deter individuals from crime, but instead he appeared to be glorifying it. I believe some individuals believed, talking about how much money he had, how much money he made, etc. But I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. He was out. He was being successful with his podcast. He said how that it came about, how that had came to be his podcast, that at first it was just something he was just using the space to sell his merchandise, and then just decided that he would start a podcast. Did so, and again, as we heard, quickly hit the algorithm, and he began to advance quickly. Within months, the podcast had blown up. He made $100 one month and $17,000 the next month. So he's on his way. What happened? I don't know. Perhaps I'll do some more investigation on this individual, see exactly what he's accused of, exactly what he's locked up for, perhaps, and hope it's nothing serious. Hopefully it's nothing serious, I guess I could say. Hopefully he gets out soon, if he has not already, and works on this podcast, builds it even further, of course, and is successful and away from the ire of the law, that he doesn't break the law anymore, and that he stops young black men, if possible, from breaking the law, that he helps out in the community. It's not a liability, but an asset, because we need everyone that we can get to help turn this thing around. There you have it, Jonathan Dupiton. From prison to podcast to back to prison, we'll see what happens from there. Do wish him success. He was already successful, but things happen. None of us are perfect. It's hard to do away with that old life when that's been in your whole life since you was 12 or 13 years old, as he was saying earlier in an interview way earlier, the part I didn't play. This thing went on for a couple of hours here. So, but I don't know, man. None of us are perfect, but you have to be careful with your deeds, especially if you're under the radar, you've been to prison, you know what that place is about, you were reading, you were working out, you were studying, you lost your mom, you were reflecting about your life, you were getting answers and knowledge from other individuals. Then you get out and still end up making some of the same mistakes or some sort of mistake. But again, none of us are perfect, not here to judge them. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay safe and stay free, people.